Have you ever been screamed at by someone with zero authority? What if the person yelling at you claimed you broke rules? That don't even apply to you? Now imagine they try to fine you, sue you, and claim control over something you legally own. What would you do? Stay silent? Or strike back publicly? Well, I chose the second option. And what happened next? Let's just say the HOA was never the same again. It started with a scream, the kind that turns heads and makes birds scatter. "You're violating HO rules!" she shrieked, waving a clipboard like it was a badge of honor. I was in my flip-flops. Sunscreen half applied, holding a cooler, just trying to get to my beach. Yes, my beach. Not public, not communal, mine. But that didn't stop her. Karen, with her perfectly curled bob and an outfit that screamed tennis club dictator, had decided I was today's villain. The crime? Parking my Jeep next to the private path that leads to my shoreline. This is an HOA community. You can't just waltz in here with your sand toys and umbrellas and think the rules don't apply. Except I don't live in her HOA. I don't owe them a dime. And the best part? I own the sliver of paradise her neighborhood thinks belongs to them. But I didn't say that yet, because letting people dig their own grave is always more fun to watch. She thought she had power. She thought she had backup. She even started taking photos of my license plate. What she didn't know was, this beach battle was going to get very public, very fast. And when I retaliated, I didn't just win. I changed the neighborhood. Let me rewind a bit. My name's Jack. I inherited the coastal property from my grandfather 2 years ago. He bought it back in the 70s, before there was a gated community anywhere nearby. Just dunes, waves, and salty air. When he passed, the land came to me. It included 300 feet of untouched beachfront. Technically, it cuts right across the side of a newer development, an upscale HOA community called Mariner's Reach. Now, here's the twist. Their HOA borders my land. They don't own it, but they sure act like they do. At first, it was small things, stares, whispers, side-eye from dog walkers when I carried paddleboards down my own path. Then came the notes, typed, passive-aggressive, slipped, under my windshield wiper. Please respect the community's aesthetics. Unauthorized use of HOA-maintained roads may result in fines. Fines? I laughed the first time I read that. Then came Karen. Her real name is Dana. But honestly, if you met her, you'd understand. She lives in a taupe stucco house right near the edge of my property line. From her backyard, she can see my beach, and she hates that I use it. She claims the HOA protects coastal integrity, but mostly she just doesn't like that I don't follow her rules. One day I returned from paddleboarding to find a handwritten sign zip-tied to my gate. Private. HO access only. Trespassers will be reported. My own gate. On my own land. That was just the beginning. Within weeks, the situation turned from annoying to absurd. First came the fake citations. Printed slips, slid under my windshield, listing imaginary infractions, improper beach entry, unauthorized parking, and my favorite, non-compliant sand behavior. What even is that? I kept them. I framed one. Then came the emails. Someone had dug up my name from property records and started flooding me with HOA newsletters, meeting reminders, even dues notices. As a resident of Mariner's Reach, you are expected to comply with quarterly landscaping standards. I don't even have landscaping. Karen would hover near my trail, arms crossed, snapping photos like a TMZ reject. One time, she followed me to the waterline and said, "You're ruining the ambience for our residents." Pretty sure the seagulls don't mind, I told her, applying sunscreen. Then it got worse. My guests started getting harassed. My cousin came by to fish and found a bright, orange parking violation stuck to his truck. Not a real ticket, just a threatening flyer warning of escalating enforcement. I confronted Karen. She denied it. So I set up a trail cam. Caught her in the act. Multiple times. She was dressed in black. Yoga pants and a hoodie, real ninja stuff, creeping onto my property at night to tape signs and warnings. One morning, I found her trying to plant an HOA residents-only sign in the sand. "This is public property!" she screamed. "Actually," I replied, "it's private, and it's mine." That shook her, but not enough. A week later, I got a letter. Official-looking, embossed HOA logo. Notice of pending litigation. They were threatening to sue me for violation of community harmony. That's not a real legal term, by the way, but I was done playing defense. It was time to get organized. I wasn't just going to shut this down. I was going to make an example out of her. My first move? Lawyers. I hired a property attorney who nearly laughed when I handed him the HOA's fake lawsuit. Violation of community harmony isn't legally binding. It's legally bizarre. We pulled title maps, property surveys, and historic deeds. My ownership was airtight. Then I posted laminated copies of the survey on my gate, along with a new sign, private property, not subject to HOA. Next, I contacted the county. Turns out, Karen and her HOA had been doing some light landscaping on my dunes. That's a violation of coastal preservation laws. So I filed a complaint. Then I did something theatrical. I hosted a beach cleanup event, invited local scouts, families, even the local news. Karen stormed out with her phone yelling, "This is illegal assembly!" I smiled for the camera and said, "Just being a good neighbor." My attorney sent a cease and desist letter to the HOA board. Any further contact or impersonation of authority would be considered harassment. And then came the final stroke. I installed a solar-powered webcam, live-streamed the beach path 24/7, titled the stream Karen Cam, watch neighborhood entitlement in real time. Within days, I had viewers, comments, memes, people were tuning in just to see if she'd try something. She did, once more. She approached the gate with a measuring tape. "You're encroaching. I have the right to verify." I leaned over the gate, cool drink in hand. "Actually, you're on camera, and your HOA just got a $1,500 citation for illegal landscaping on private land. Want to add trespassing to the list?" She backed off. Neighbors started talking. One guy even walked up and said, "Honestly, we thought you were the crazy one. Turns out you're just chill." The HOA board held an emergency meeting, and I was invited. I brought my lawyer. Karen was there, arms folded, jaw clenched like she was chewing gravel. The board chair cleared his throat. "Mr. Caldwell, we want to apologize. Ms. Brinley acted without approval. We'll be revoking her privileges for 6 months." I leaned back, savoring it. "I'm not looking for enemies," I said. "Just peace." Karen stood up, face red. "He live-streamed me." "That's harassment." The board chair sighed. "You stepped onto his private property repeatedly." I stood, handed over a final envelope. "And here's the civil complaint for ongoing harassment and defamation. Enjoy, mic drop." The beach is quiet these days. Karen still lives there, but she avoids eye contact. And the signs? Gone. In their place? A little plaque I installed. "Respect the tide." It always comes back. So what did I learn? Sometimes the loudest people are the most powerless. And sometimes, all it takes to expose a bully is to shine a little sunlight on them. Or a live stream. I didn't ask for a war with the HOA. I just wanted to enjoy my beach. But when someone pushes, you can push back. Smartly, legally, publicly. And if you do it right, you don't just win, you teach. If you made it this far, comment "Justice served" below. And tell me, what would you have done if Karen planted signs on your property? Like, subscribe, and remember, just because someone has a clipboard doesn't mean they have authority. Sometimes they just have audacity.